All right, I know you have your family and friends, but see, I got my buddy, my boy, my pari, Carlito Rodzanski. He's our director right now. I got the man back there, and he actually said my mic was hot during that. So I said, yeah, rock and roll, here we go. I was talking to, of course, to another one of our friends here, Landon Idla from the National Weather Service, and my mic was hot, but it was also hot on the island. Hopefully that condition persists because we are heading into the new year. So let's go ahead and spin up the KUM News Zoom room where Landon is situated in his office, of course, over there in Tejan. Decorated as always.
Not really. I
Not
just have my neon light that's up here year round, but I actually do have a decoration on my wall in front of me, and I'm going to turn my camera around. I got this on my trip a couple weeks ago to Pompeii and Chuk, and so I went to Kabinga Village where they do a lot of wood carvings and handicrafts, and I wanted something that I could bring back and put on my wall. And this one item caught my attention from the moment I walked into the building.
That is
And
beautiful.
So
Okay, now
I got
was this already in a shop already made, or did an artisan or a craftsman actually like make this for you while you were there?
Yeah, it was already made. They had made it for somebody that ordered it, but they had not made payment or picked it up. And he said, if you want it, you can have it. Just pay now, and they'll make another one for the request. So I walked out with it that day, and fortunately, the folks at
Wow.
United Airlines accommodated this as a carry-on. I was told at the airport they could carry this on. There's space for it. There was not a space for it on the aircraft. So a big thank you to United Airlines for getting this over here for me.
Yeah, did that fit in the overhead compartment?
Unfortunately, it did not. I was hoping it
Ah.
would, or fit behind like first class, the back row. It did not fit there, or the coat cabinet.
Oh, you
The
just
flight
put it up there
attendant
with
said-
the bulkhead. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so luckily it worked, and it's a beautiful piece. My gosh! But hopefully now that
And
COVID
thank
is
you for
waning,
zooming
I
down
can.
on that bottom end of the turtle, by the way. So now we know it's a boy.
Yes, is it a boy? But I have a lot of wall space in my office, so finally I can start traveling. I got a few items from Chuk State as well that I can hang up in the wall as well, and that's really what I want to do is in my term as the
Ranim,
warning
our brothers and
coordination.
sisters in Chuk, of course.
Absolutely. I want to fill this wall up, this office with items from the islands just to really make it meaningful to the job. So, work in progress.
Holiday fare when it comes to
I'm not
welcoming in
sure.
the new year. Most people have like a range of
wine bottles and stuff like that. But of course, your array and your range of computer screens and everything are able to see well into Sunday and predict what weather. So, are we going to be able to enjoy, the drone show and the fireworks that they have in relative dry
I,
conditions?
I certainly hope so. And that's going to be a tricky forecast for us with the shoreline in the neighborhood right now. But I'm zooming into Japan, and they've made some news headlines as well as the cold weather across the states. Lots of freezing weather in Florida, where they've had hard freeze warnings in place for a couple days, which is really bad for the citrus fruits out there, including my parents in Jacksonville. They had to cover their plants with a lot of lemons growing on the trees. But this is Japan, where they've had a number of
Yeah, and shout out to my buddy Lindsay over there in Orlando and everything. She's awesome.
Yes. Okay. Shout out to Lindsay. But this is Japan. And if you notice, we have all these clouds moving in, but you notice some of these clouds are not moving, the white stuff. Well, those are not clouds. This is snow in the mountains of Western Japan. So they have been blanketed with a lot of heavy snowfall in recent weeks and days, causing power outages, casualties, injuries, and stuff. So they've had a hard time the last couple of weeks this holiday season. And that's part of this very large winter weather cyclone that's come off of the Japanese coast, and that's zipping across the North Pacific. This will not affect us weather-wise. However, this cold front that extends well south and southwest of that cyclone, that is what's influencing our weather. So right there we have Guam, and it's literally on top of us. So we were talking last week about this frontal boundary, the shear line that's going to be influencing our weather after that weak tropical disturbance late last week was going to bring showers on Thursday of last week. This thing has taken its time to get down the CNMI, and it's finally here. That we had a flood advisory in effect for Rhoda earlier this morning, with the heaviest showers now just north of Rhoda, between Rhoda and Tinian. Much better weather across Guam still at this time. Will the showers make it to Guam today? Probably not at this point. It looks like we're getting a little bit of a rebound northward, but the overall trend is that it's going to keep punching southward in the coming days. So we're looking at it about a Wednesday arrival. But the tricky part is sunny and drier to the south, clouds, windy, rainy to the north, large swell and wind waves, which have already punctured down into the Guam waters. We saw the waves increasing across the north and west facing reefs and beaches on Christmas Day and also yesterday, where we had, unfortunately, a number of incidents in the waters off of Guam. So this is something we've been highlighting for quite a while, and it is hazardous out there. So please stay out of the waters if you're not near a lifeguarded beach, or if you cannot swim, play it safe out there. But this shear line, this is going to be in our area for much of the week, and the model forecast. I don't usually like to show the model forecast, but this is what we're looking at. That boundary sits.
We like looking at models at this show.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially on Instagram.
Boundary, especially on Instagram. So this model is showing. This is the global forecast model of American GFS. Shows that boundary right over the southern CNMI, Rota to near Tinian, and not so bad at Saipan, but everywhere across the CNMI. Strong winds just punching down from the northeast, much lighter winds here across Guam and the Guam waters, which is what allowed us to see some island effect convection because of those light variable calm winds over the island yesterday. Some people saw upwards of 2 inches of rain across western and southern Guam. Other areas stay dry all day, but this boundary will continue to linger right in Rota, Tinian area, but then around Tuesday night into Wednesday, looks like this boundary is going to sink just enough southward to pass over Guam, probably with little fanfare. So we're not looking at so much of the convective heavy showers that Rota saw this morning, but more of a nuisance, drizzly, light rain type scenario. So we're going to be watching this closely because the convection, the heaviest showers are typically on the leading edge, and that's where we saw this morning. I'm going backwards right now to this morning, but this thing shows it decaying, gradually dissipating, but still with the strong winds to the north. And so we're looking now at Thursday morning, now with the boundary just south of Guam, but the stronger northeast trade winds now encompassing all of Guam and the CNMI. But later in the week, we see a little bit of moisture starting to fill in along that boundary. And what is it going to do? What shows it kind of fragmenting and kind of lifting more toward Guam around, this is Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and then early Sunday morning. So it's going to be very tricky. It looks like the winds will definitely be here Saturday into Sunday for New Year's Eve and the fireworks. So the winds will probably be there to some extent around 15 to 20 miles per hour. That'll be good to keep the smoke away. But for the drone show, we have to watch that carefully. So we'll be talking to the drone operators for that show. But the showers, that could be a showstopper. So we'll be talking with them closely, because if it stays south of us, we'll be fine as far as showers. But if these showers start picking back northward, that could be a problem for the festivities that night. So this thing's going to be in the area for quite a while. It's not going to be going anywhere fast. And I'm going to show my other screen. This is the polar orbiting scatterometer data showing the winds over the waters. This is Guam right here. That red line, this is the picture as of early this morning. The stronger winds, 15 to 20 knots with gusts upwards of 20 to 30 knots. That's all just north of us around Rota and northward to near Tinian and Saipan. Much weaker winds near Guam and just south of Guam. All these weak winds were more over Guam yesterday, allowing for that island effect convection to pop up and bring some heavy showers. But these winds will be punching gradually southward over Guam by Wednesday night. So that's what we'll be watching out closely for. As those winds arrive, you'll see the chop increase across the waters. But still, we have a number of advisories in effect. A high surf advisory for west and north facing reefs. That's all of Agana Bay, Tuman Bay. That's both Tuman Bays near Ipao Beach, Matapang Beach, and all the way around to Nika Hotel, which is more of a west facing beach. So watch out for those areas. Make sure if you are in the water that you're near a lifeguarded beach, that people have eyes on you. Do not go near the reef because the waves are very large. They're breaking upwards of 9 to 11 feet with some higher waves from time to time. So play it safe. The currents will be strong, especially in the bays. They can pick you up and move you across the bay before you realize you've moved so far and got closer to the reef. So watch out for that. High surf advisory in effect through 4 a.m. Wednesday along north and west facing reefs. That will likely be extended. Beach hazard statement in effect for Indonesian Pacific man-o-war. They are present being reported on a number of beaches across the CNMI and Guam to some extent, and
Oh,
also a
yeah.
high risk of rip currents.
Those man of wars, you see them on top of the surface of the water, and they also go subsurface. I remember seeing them a lot at
Yes.
Just Pirates Cove when I was a kid. So they're very common over in EPAN.
Yeah, they're very common in EPAN and usually those windward-facing beaches. So they typically like those windward-facing beaches, but they're not limited to those beaches. So watch out for that, especially if you have the wind blowing onshore wherever you are, especially on the east as those winds start shifting more toward the northeast and east in the coming days. Watch out for that. Small craft advisory in effect through early Friday morning. Watch out in case that gets extended for winds and seas remaining hazardous longer than early Friday morning. But we have a number of advisories in effect. Play it safe. Don't go out in the water when in doubt. This is a great time to put up Christmas decorations, clean up your house, enjoy vacation before you go back to work and school if that starts after the new year. But,
or you can pick up like a side habit, like, oh, I don't know, hang out at the Micronesia Mall for about a week and build a structure out of Lincoln logs. I mean, who's ever come up with that before?
I don't know, but I think it's a great idea. So, and actually, those towers, they'll be coming down probably early next week. We're going to be talking to the mall, and we'll probably dismantle them early next week. We might have a little bit of fun with demolition. We'll see how that goes since it's not 26 feet tall.
Let us know. I would love to cover that. Okay, well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
This is the last work week weather forecast. I got to let you go, but this is the last episode of the year and everything. So we're not only going to take a selfie together here live on YouTube, we're also going to do it like old school MySpace style. So ready, smile, Landon. All right. That's our Landon. We haven't used MySpace since 2003. And why that worked, I have no idea. So that's Landon.
I never had it.
The information, my friend, and we will see you in 2023.
All right, sit tight, everybody, because we'll see you right after this break.